Breaking news, breaking news. JLR investigates with the breaking news. We have a situation, ladies and gentlemen, going on in Osceola County, Florida. This woman right here is in some big trouble with the law, folks. She's being arrested. Well, she's arrested, and we're going to show a perp walk. She's going to be charged with murdering her 14-year-old daughter, folks. The details are trickling out. Osceola County in the Kissimmee, Florida area. This is 35-year-old Kelsey Glover. And she was taken into custody just about an hour or two ago. And apparently, she took her 14-year-old daughter to the bathtub and drowned her head in the water of the bathtub. A lot of screaming and a lot of chaos at her home. And as deputies arrived, she was wielding a hammer all over the place, wild and reckless. And they took her into custody. Perp walk details. We don't know much about this situation. Come on in, folks. This woman is in trouble. She might be the next Andrea Yates here, 2.0. Now, I looked around social media. I couldn't find much information on her. Her name is Kelsey Glover, Glover, 35 years old. Kissimmee, Florida. I'm going to show you this first perp walk, and then we'll continue to talk about her. And then the sheriff also gave a press conference. Listen to this. This is wild. This is crazy. Now, she's not charged with murdering her daughter yet, but her daughter's dead. Her 14-year-old daughter is dead. And the sheriff's saying that she drowned her daughter's head in the bathtub, in the water. Wow. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this perp walk. There's a couple perp walks. Look at this. Right here. Here she comes.
What happened this morning in Poinciana? What happened this morning? What happened this morning?
Come on, keep moving. Anything you want to say right now?
Anything you want to say about what you're being accused of? Lying ass bitch.
Oh, she said lying. She said something. She said lying, ASS, NIGGA. That's what she said. We're going to talk more about her. I got another perp walk of her. They ushered her out. Is that what she said? Lion? I thought she said NIGGA. That's what I thought that she said. Kelsey Glover. Kelsey Glover. So, according to news reports, and this is breaking, folks, just happened about an hour ago or two, when she was, apparently this incident happened in the daytime, and then she was brought out of there at night. A woman was arrested in Osceola County on Wednesday after deputies say she held her 14-year-old daughter's head under water in the bathtub. Sheriff Marcos Lopez in a news conference said the girl did not survive the assault. When the deputies arrived to the home in Poinciana, which is outside Kissimmee, her address is actually Kissimmee, the woman was chasing witnesses with the hammer. The daughter was unresponsive, and when deputies arrived, The mother, Kelsey Glover, is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and battery. Her 14-year-old death is now under investigation. She's going to be charged with murder. Another child and a roommate were in the home at the time, Lopez said. She has no criminal history. So her prior name is Campbell. She used to live in Ruskin, Florida. I looked around and they've been verified. Virginia. But there's nothing on her. Who is this woman? Who's this woman? Why and how did this woman do this? Why? Why? Tell me why. Tell me why, folks. Here's another perp walk, and then we'll listen to the sheriff. Perp walks. She's smiling. Gotta love those Florida sheriffs allow the media to be there during the perp walks. We love the perp walks when JLR investigates. They do that in San Antonio. Remember the Preciados? Cuckoo bird. That's why I see the comment. Cuckoo bird. So what we'll do is we will be getting the affidavit of probable cause and getting information. So he gives a press conference, Sheriff Lopez. He speaks. And then she gets taken away. Osceola County Jail. It could be a death penalty case right here. There she goes. Peace out. You're never going to see freedom ever again. Ever, ever again. Could be a death penalty case. We'll talk more about that.
Let me know when everybody's here.
So what in the world happened here? Why? Why'd she do this? There was another child in the house. Is it over a man? Why would she kill her own daughter? 14-year-old daughter. Why would she do it? So apparently, according to news reports, this incident happened at 1148 Campbell Drive. 1148 Campbell Drive. This is where the incident happened. This is where it is on the map. 1148 Campbell Drive. So let's zoom out for people that watch JLR Investigates from around the globe. We're at the little red marker there. Here you go. Almost like Central Florida. You see where I live, the blue dot. All right. So let's zoom in and see what's up. Let's see what we got going. This little residential neighborhood. This is where she did the crime. She drowned her own daughter in the bathtub. Held her head under the water. So it looks like a little decent neighborhood, right? Wonder what the neighbors think. Campbell Drive, Kissimmee. So, here you go. Crazy times, 1149. You see the neighborhood. Watch you do it. We are already covering Stefan Stearns in that area. Now we have Kelsey Glover. Another weirdo, wackadoodle. She seems a little Fruit Loopy, though. Smiling a little bit, smirking. Something might not be registering with this woman's head. Let's listen to the sheriff with a press conference. Come on in. Wanted to share this out because no one has really talked about this on YouTube yet. You know you hear a lot of cases first on this channel, JLR Investigates, because I'm scouring the net for the stories. And we pick the odd ones, and we pick the crazy ones.
Are we ready?
Let's listen to the sheriff.
Ready. All right. Welcome, everyone. I'm Sheriff Lopez with the Osceola County Sheriff's Office. Just want to tell the public about a tragic case that happened earlier today, November 20th, 2024. The Osceola County Sheriff's Office was notified early this morning about a violent incident that happened at a house in Poinciana at 1148 Campbell Drive. Deputies responded after receiving calls about an armed disturbance. Deputies responded immediately and got to the house as the disturbance was still taking place. Inside the home, deputies apprehended the suspect of this investigation, Miss Kelsey Glover. Deputies then spoke to witnesses who were also at the residence and learned that Miss Glover's 14-year-old daughter was upstairs in the bathroom and unresponsive. Witnesses also told deputies that they saw Miss Glover holding her 14-year-old daughter's head underwater in the bathtub, and they tried to stop her, but were not successful. Eventually, Miss Glover began attacking and chasing these witnesses around the house with a hammer, which led them to call also 911. The 14-year-old girl was transported to a hospital, but she was declared deceased shortly after arriving. At this time, we're still waiting on a report from the medical examiner's office, so we cannot confirm exactly how the girl passed away. But we're launching a full homicide investigation that will be concluded soon. Today, the mother is being arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and battery charges. It's a dark day when things like this happen. The 14-year-old girl's name was Giselle Glover. What happened to her is unimaginable, and we are determined to get justice for Giselle. I want to thank the homicide detectives who've been working relentlessly since this incident occurred to make sure we're putting a good case packet together for prosecution and turn over to the state. Do we have any questions? Actually, hold on. Let me run it real quick in Spanish. Apologize. Ready? Spanish?
Yes, sir.
Básicamente, esta mañana nosotros respondimos a una casa 1148 Campbell Drive en Poinciana. Los oficiales respondieron porque hay una pelea. Una persona estaba tratando de agredir a las personas que llamaron al 911 con un martillo. Esos testigos también nos avisaron que ellos observaron a la sospechosa Kelsey Glover intentando de aguantar la cabeza de la víctima debajo de la agua. Ellos trataron de pararla, pero no podían. La niña estaba transportada al hospital, pero la denunciaron fallecida. Ahora vamos a estar investigando esto como un homicidio, pero estamos esperando que el Medical Examiner's Office nos dé los resultados de la causa de muerte. Hoy la vamos a arrestar a la madre, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon y battery domestic charges. Es triste cuando estas cosas suceden y yo no puedo ni imaginar lo que esta pobre niña sufrió durante este incidente. Ahora también le tengo que dar gracias a todos los detectives y los policías que estaban en la escena trabajando para poner un buen caso compuesto para enviarlo al State Attorney's Office. Okay. Questions in English first.
Sheriff Lopez, did the witnesses say whether the daughter was already in the bath, like taking a bath, or did her mother put her in the bath?
I don't have that. What we have is witnesses said that she was putting her head, they observed her with the victim's head underneath the water.
And Sheriff, what started that whole, incident between mother and daughter earlier this morning? What brought about
still actively being investigated as we speak. The mother was a little uncooperative, and hopefully we'll get to the bottom of that soon. That's why right now we're charging her with those other charges. But as soon as this gets concluded, the other charges will be charged accordingly to what occurred.
And is mother even aware that her daughter is deceased right now?
She's been told.
And what was her reaction to that?
I didn't hear. I wasn't present when they told her, but I didn't hear her making any comments about it while we were walking down the hall.
Is there any history of domestic issues in that household?
The only domestic issue we have there is one against her actual husband or the children's father, where she battered him. He got an injunction against her, and that's pretty much it. Other than that, there's no other history in reference to that.
And how many people were inside the home when this happened?
A total of 4. The victim, the mother, another child, and someone who resides with them.
So,
¿En español ahora? ¿Alguien?
¿Se sabe algún del motivo de la causa?
Todavía no se sabe el motivo. Estábamos tratando de hablar con la madre un poquito, además de ese aspecto, y con la otra persona en la casa, pero ella no está cooperando mucho. Eso todavía está debajo de investigación, y enseguida que tengamos esa información la vamos a dar al público.
¿Se sabe si había cargos antes o antecedentes?
No, el único cargo que teníamos en ese hogar era el papá de los hijos. Fue víctima, ella lo agredió y él sacó un domestic violence injunction y el juez se lo dio.
I'm assuming that this young girl was in Osceola County School District. Has the school district been alerted?
I haven't been advised of that. ¿Otra pregunta en español? ¿No?
¿Alguien más salió herido en este caso?
Ella intentó herir a la que estaba viviendo en la casa y al otro hijo, pero la señora que estaba ahí peleó con ella. But I was saying, pero no fueron heridos. When the officers get there, there's actually wrestling a hammer away from her, and she's trying to strike the lady who's trying to prevent her from harming her daughter. And it was just something that we caught in the act, and God only knows in which direction that was going to go if we didn't get there on time and kick the door in.
And speaking to that, sir, do you know if there's going to be any body cam or 911
Sir,
calls
ma'am.
available tonight?
I can't hear a question.
Will there be any body cam or 911 calls?
We'll have all that, right? Since it's an active investigation, we really can't put that out right now. But definitely, once this is concluded, we'll have additional information for everyone. We're just waiting for the right cause of death to make sure that we're giving her the right charge in this case.
And were any of your deputies on scene that responded this morning, were they in fear for their lives at all? Clearly you've got someone, as you mentioned, running around with a hammer. Were they concerned for their safety?
No. They go right in, they grab her, they do what they gotta do, they separate. That's what deputies and cops do. You can't be in fear of your own life in a situation like that. It's exigent circumstances, and you have to take the appropriate action in order to make sure that you control that scene. In this case, they reacted properly. They didn't have to tase anyone. Just basically disarm her, find out what happened, disarm her. They tried to save the victim, and then she was transported to the hospital.
Have you all heard from the father of the child?
He has been advised of the incident.
Say anything?
I'll disclose that right now.
And did he say how?
Sorry?
He wasn't.
No, it wasn't. It was the victim, the mother, a child, and then a roommate. Is that it?
Did you say how old the suspect is?
35.
I don't have the age. She's 9/24/89. So that would make her what? I don't have an exact race.
And would charges be upgraded once you get the results?
Yes, definitely. It's definitely, that's what we're looking at now, based on the circumstances and based on what the witnesses saw happen. We can make assumptions, but we just want to make sure that the right cause of death is pronounced so we can give her the accurate charge.
Tal vez no lo he escuchado antes, tal vez no puede poner atención, pero esta mujer tiene un récord criminal en el pasado, tiene antecedentes.
No criminal history, no tiene récord criminal. She has no history of mental illness, to our knowledge. No tiene nada de eso. Okay? All right?
Can you give us spellings for the mom and the daughter?
She'll get all that for you here in a second. Okay? All right, well, thank you very much. Thank you for being patient with us.
All right, you heard from the Osceola County Sheriffs. Kelsey Glover, 35 years old, arrested, charged, aggravated assault, soon to be charged with murdering her 14-year-old daughter. Drowned her daughter in a bathtub. Scary times, folks. Kissimmee. Let's get Magnolia in the chat. Just get her opinion real quick. We're going to just talk about this real quick. See what Magnolia has to say. She's the better half of JLR Investigates. She is the better half of JLR Investigates. Come on in, Magnolia. Let's have a conversation about Kelsey Glover. Why did she do this horrendous crime? Hello, Magnolia.
Yes, hello.
All right.
Hi, everybody.
Give me your take real quick about Kelsey and this situation, Magnolia.
Yeah, so he just said her date of birth was, 1989? So she is about 35 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is an interesting case because of the age of her daughter. I mean, we've heard about mothers who killed their kids in the bathtub, Andrea Yates, and, different stories we've heard over the year, but normally it's little small children. This is a 14-year-old girl. So it just makes me wonder, it sounds like it was really violent. If if the daughter wasn't able to overtake her, because we saw her on the perp walk.
She's small.
She's a tiny woman.
She's small.
She looks 4'10" at the most. So I think it's interesting that she was able to do this to a 14-year-old. I mean, a lot of 14-year-old girls are pretty much adult size, so she could have been even bigger than her mom. So is she on some type of drugs? Like, what's going on? Because her attitude too on this perp walk, you see her walking and she looks like this is the best day of her life. Like,
she's on the red carpet.
This is her time to shine. She's like, you could tell when she was walking and the cameras were on her and the lights were on her, she's smiling as if like she's arrived and this is my time. Like, that's the way her face looked. So there's got to be something more going on here is what I think. Maybe some drugs involved, mental illness. We don't know.
Look at this. I'm gonna show this. I'm gonna show this on mute. Go ahead. But look how tiny she is. Look. I mean, she's literally. She's under. Look, she's smirking.
Yeah.
She's strutting.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the one that you showed where she was outside and it was dark and they had the cameras and the lights, that was the one where she was teasing for the camera.
This is crazy. Well, you know, they and how did the media know about this? Probably because they were viewing the scanner. But yeah, sheriff's like, get out of the way, get out of the way. Sometimes these sheriffs let these defendants, they'll let the reporters stop and put the microphones in front of the defendants' faces, and so they can answer a couple questions before they put them in the vehicle.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the Florida sheriff's departments still believe in public shaming, and they embrace it. You know, we talk about this all the time. It's traditionally part of the process, and they definitely believe in it in Florida.
She got a tattoo right there.
Look at her smiling. Yeah. Well, yeah, and then, you know, I also think about the daughter and, you know, just think about, like, her friends at school, because now this is going to be a whole thing tomorrow at school when everyone hears. I mean, I'm sure they all know by now, but it's going to be hard for the kids at the school to comprehend this. And her friends and people she spent time with, it's going to be really traumatic for the whole school body.
She's already in one of these suicide suits, right? What is that? That looks like someone that would be in a padded room.
Yeah, or it could just be like a hazmat type suit. I mean, I'm sure that they probably took her clothes, but because they need to analyze her clothes for evidence and things like that. So they just give her this paper suit to wear.
Crazy times.
Yeah,
I'm showing her one more time.
She looks like an Oompa Loompa.
Yeah.
Walking down the hallway, right? If you just painted her green, she'd look exactly like an Oompa Loompa.
I swear I saw her listen to her say some cuss words.
Yeah, she said whenever the reporter was like, "What do you have to say about what happened today?" or whatever, what she said back to them was "lying ass bitches."
I thought she said the N-word.
So when they said, "What do you think about what you're being accused of?" She said, "Lying ass bitches." That's what she said.
Wow, the profanity, Magnolia. Campbell and Drive in Kissimmee. So what we'll do, folks, is we'll just keep her.
She's trying to say they're lying, but they were there. I mean, she's not getting away with this. They were there. They saw her. They went in there. They were trying to help the situation, and they were not able to save the daughter. So no one's lying. This happened, and I don't think she's, I don't think things are going to go well for her.
All right,
she should enjoy her moment in the spotlight because that's it.
I mean, now it's not making national headlines yet. It's still the Orlando Sentinel, WESH, WKMG, local news is talking about this, but I'm sure this is going to go, more of a like an Andrea Yates type of thing. Maybe not, because we've seen so many of these over the years where mothers do the unthinkable to their own children.
Yeah. I mean, she looks crazy. She does look crazy in these perp walks, but, we don't really know all the facts yet. We don't know if there's drugs involved, mental health issues. We really just don't know. But just on the surface, you have to be very violent. This had to have been a very violent situation, and she's a dangerous person. I think that much is clear.
It just shows, don't judge anybody by their size out there. You could be the biggest or smallest person out there, and anyone can do anything. Yeah. Anyone has the capability of doing anything to anyone. You cannot judge a book by just someone's, size. Whenever they always say size someone up. Man, I'll tell you.
Well, yeah. And Sue said it too. The fact that the daughter is 14 is what makes it more interesting, because a 14-year-old, I mean, when I was 14, I was full grown. I mean, I'm pretty much the same size now as I was when I was 14. Maybe like 10, 20 pounds heavier, but I was the same height when I was 14 as I am now. So, you have to think about that. The chances of her daughter actually being smaller than her are pretty low. The daughter's probably bigger than her. So it's like, it's hard to imagine how she could have pulled this off. Unless there was drugs involved and some extreme type of psychosis, or there's really no telling. There's no telling what it could be, what the motive here is.
If she's 35 and her daughter was 14, means she had her daughter when she was 21?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I just can't imagine. I can't imagine these people doing things like this. And then to walk, and she's just chit-chatting. She's walking down the hallway just chit-chatting.
Well, it seems like she's a little mad at police. It looked like she was like kind of yelling at the one officer, or saying like...
Yeah, she's coming down the thing, like running her mouth. In the second video, she's smiling. Look at her. She just killed her daughter. And this is what she looks like.
Smile. Smile, you're on candid camera.
She's definitely pleased with herself. So, yeah, there's got to be some type of a mental illness or something going on here, but they'll dig into it and they'll find out what led to this.
Florida is a capital punishment state. You think this is a capital punishment case?
Yeah.
You think this is a
Yep.
death penalty case?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see how it all played out. I mean, if she planned it, that's a big part of this. Premeditation would factor in. Juanita said, is this Polk County? No, this is Osceola County.
Yeah, Kissimmee area.
Yeah, this is over there where, wasn't this in the area of
It's off of
Madeline Soto? Madeline Soto was in Kissimmee where they lived.
So Kissimmee, it's a
Town.
little bit south of Kissimmee, I believe. Here's Lake Buena Vista. Kissimmee over here. Orlando.
Yeah.
So
So it's over
Kissimmee.
in that area.
Yeah. So it's getting towards I-4. One of the most heavily congested areas, and it's in Central Florida. It's literally like in Central Florida.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy. All right, well, we'll keep tabs on this case, and we'll see what happens, and if we can get some body cam, if we can get some more information, we'll see what's up. We'll see what this is about.
Yeah, and I just worry about how it's going to affect the kids at her school. You know, this is going to be very traumatizing for her friends and the rest of her class at school.
Yeah, I'm always wondering about these type of cases, and you know, when I see mothers that we cover that on here. I mean, a lot of the cases we around the country with mothers that do something to their children. I mean, we're talking about it. I haven't really seen nothing really like notorious lately. So this popped up, and I'm like, oh wow, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
So we'll get more information, and then we'll come back on and do another live. I'm sure things will come out. Florida's very open and transparent. It's one of the best states when it comes to the sunshine law. You can get so much stuff out of Florida: jailhouse calls, body cam, all type 911 calls. You can get it all in Florida.
Yeah, and it's very early into this because this just happened today.
Yeah.
I think this happened, around noon? 11:30 noon today?
Yeah, in the morning.
Something like that.
They probably,
yeah,
all the reporters are probably there at a perp walk because they knew this happened based off probably the scanner, or they all got wind. A lot of those reporters all like work with one another anyway. They're not really like one person trying to get the scoop. I've noticed that when I was covering Sarah Boone outside, a lot of the media people are all like huddled together talking about things. So that one probably got wind and they let everyone else know.
The sheriff's departments, they send out press releases,
True.
You know, and they go to all the local media outlets, and so that's how they get people there because they want the perp walk to be filmed. So they definitely are sending out those notices and letting reporters know what's happening so they can be there and capture that moment. And at least we heard someone ask her questions that elicited a response, so that was good. Normally we see they're very quiet, they don't say anything, and that reporter got her to sort of lash out and say that they were lying. So that was good.
We got to get on those lists. We got to get on those lists. I just want to share something else. I'm going to share about the what I was sharing with you about the burglary ring. I just want to share some new information. You know, we've been covering the burglary rings across the country, particularly in Florida. Remember, we were talking about migrant burglary rings, and then we also just talked the other day about the celebrity burglary rings with a couple Kansas City Chief players. Well, I got some new information out. Now, we said on JLR Investigates, who are doing these burglaries? Who are doing these high-end burglaries when it comes to the two Kansas City Chiefs players, Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey, and then Mike Connolly with the Timberwolves, and Bobby Portis with the Milwaukee Bucks? We're like, who's doing this? And we speculated it could be migrant burglary ring. Well, guess what, folks? Got some breaking news on that. According to ABC News, they're saying detectives in several states are investigating whether a South American crime ring may be behind the burglaries at homes of high-profile professional athletes. Multiple law enforcement sources familiar with the investigation. And I retweeted, we suspected this. Migrant burglary rings targeting athletes. All across the country, organized migrant gangs have been targeting homes in Florida, Arizona, and New Jersey. We've covered numerous of them in Florida itself, from Pinellas County to Polk County. So, yeah, look, it might be a migrant burglary ring. So we'll stay tuned on that and see what happens out of that. Appreciate the chat, Magnolia.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. We cover true crime 24/7, 365 on JLR Investigates. Kelsey Glover. Remember that name. We will talk soon. Everybody be safe out there. Love your children. I cannot believe mothers would do this to their own children and dads. Stefan Stearns, mothers, dads. I mean, wow. Sometimes it's mother and father that do it. Crazy times, folks. Stay safe out there. Don't be like these bad parents. We used to have a bad parent list, me and Magnolia, like a playlist on YouTube. We used to have the bad mom list. We got to put her on the bad mom list. Oh, yeah, she's going on there. She's going on there. Have a good night, everyone. Be safe. JLR Investigates.